Crochet Your Way today. We're going to make a little project that covers a box. I have this plastic cookie container that I'm going to completely cover and make into a gift basket for the holidays. I'm going to use bits of yarn that I, have some scraps. This is a great stash buster. And it's 4-weight. My hook is Tulip 5.5 millimeter. You can use whatever hook you like that feels comfortable with whatever weight of yarn you'd like to use. I put this piece of adaptive or assistive foam over my hook so that my hand doesn't get fatigued. I've got some dollar store scissors. You don't have to get fancy with this project. You'll probably need a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. So I'm going to make a slip knot. And I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to make what's called a foundation chain versus just a chain, starter chain. What that does, it makes it nice and springy. And since I'm a tight crocheter, especially when I start, I tend to make a bowed effect when I try to make a square or rectangle. So I hope you saw what I just did there. Let me do it again. Did my 3 chains. I went back into the first one, and there are 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, just one. I'm going to yarn over and pull up another loop, just make a little chain, and I'm going to hold it so it doesn't get too tight. And I'll pull through those 2, and I'm still holding it, and then it also helps me get it over this back bar here, this back loop. I'm going to get those 2 over there to start anew. Get untangled. Now, I'm going to make my chain. I'm going to pinch it. Just hold on to it so it doesn't get too tight. Go through those 2 loops and then back into it. So I hold it so that I can get into it a lot easier. I hope that you can see that. Make your chain, hold it, go through the 2 loops, and go back into that chain that you were holding. I see I dropped it. But I was able to pick it back up again so you can see those 2. So it ends up making little V's. There and there, there and there, and there, and there will be your new V. When I make that chain, I pinch it, go through the 2 loops on your hook, and then, oops, I dropped it again. Go through those 2. I think it starts to look like ribbon candy. That's nice and stretchy. Spring, spring, spring. But let's get to the end, and you'll know you're at the end when you take your chain, your foundation chain, or your chain, depending on what you like to do. Remember, this is Crochet Your Way, not my way. So I don't quite have it long enough yet. So I'm going to keep on going. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, I'm back, and I have made enough to just stretch it so that it laps a little bit over the edges. Doesn't that look like Christmas candy? Those old-fashioned ribbon candies. It's just my favorite way to start a project. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how I do my my turning and leveling up to the next level. So anyway, I've gone along the bottom now. I'm ready to come up. I don't do a turning chain. I don't chain one and turn. I turn it on that loop that I ended with. Boing, boing. And then I just sneak my stitch, my hook under the stitch, so that those two V's along the top here, you see how that has those nice V's? Well, I just went into the first one. I don't skip it, I just put it right in there. And I hook my yarn and pull it up, and now I have two loops. And I pull through both of those loops, and now I've done a single crochet. If I was doing single crochets, this is it. I'd be ready to go to my next stitch, but I'm going to do half doubles. So I want to do one more level up. So there are two, this stitch, I hope you can see it. There are two bars, boing boing, there and there. I am going to go through the second one with my hook, like that. Hook the yarn over and pull it through, and now I have two loops on my hook again. And I could do that indefinitely, depending on how tall my row was going to be for that row. I'm doing half doubles, but this is also really good for double crochets. So if you know how to do a half double, you just yarn over, go into the next stitch under both loops, pull up, and then you go through all three. Again, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull it up, and then you pull the yarn over all three of those loops. Yarn over, so meet me at the end, and I will turn again one more time. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I'm back. Here is the end of that second row. We're going to do the stitch. Don't do any chain up or anything. Just turn your work. Go into very first stitch, no skipping. Pull up two. Yarn over and pull through those two loops. Now go into the second bar. There are two bars here. This one and this one. Go into the second one from the hook. Yarn over, pull up. Now you have two again on your loop. Yarn over, pull through both of those, and you're done with your leveling up. Let's keep going, and we will cover the bottom of our box. I'm going to keep going with our back and forth half double crochets to make a square to cover this whole piece. And I will be back with you when that is done. Time to make the sides. We have a full piece that fits roughly on the back or the bottom of this. We'll do our single crochet, single stacked crochet. But just in the back loop. If you can see, there's the front loop and there's the back loop. This one right here. So now we go into the next one. Right there. What this does is gives it a nice turning edge. You see how it goes flat and then it makes a little corner right along there. We're actually not going to add any stitches into the corner. We're just going to work that 1 half double crochet in every edge stitch on the back bar or back loop. Now we're on the sides, and it can be a little bit tricky trying to figure out which yarn to use. And it's okay if you just kind of wing it or do a sideways bar like that one. It's okay. Some of them are easy to figure out which one is the bar that you want to use, and others are a little more difficult. But as you can see, look at that corner. So hopefully that'll be nice and tight. I'm going to continue around and around, going up, using my half double crochets in the back loop only, or on these sides as best you can find. But just try to continue that back loop kind of. That's your goal. Do your best. And when you get around to this side, I'll show you how to level up again. And then you can continue on. That's the last one. This is my stacking single crochet. And I'm going to go under the 2 loops at the top of that. And just do a slip stitch. And now it makes a nice boop boop corner. So now it's time to do another stacking single crochet, and I go right into the 2 bars now, the 2 that I just went through, and do my stacking single crochets. And do 1 half double crochet in each. You might have a better stitch, or you may not need to do anything to cover. You might be using a regular cardboard box to cover, and you don't have to worry about hiding what's behind here. Another alternative I just thought of just now is, if you wanted to, you could cover this with like decoupage. But then at that point, you might as well just make it pretty and then don't worry about crocheting over it. So, but if you want to do an extra step and put some pretty decoupage in there, and then maybe do a lacy stitch over top, so you actually see the decoupage between your stitches, that's an alternative. It's an option. So anyway, keep going around until you get to the top of these containers that you're covering. Up to here. I'm going to go right up to this lip and then stop. So I'll see you when we're at that point. Okay, I'm back. This is the finished piece. You could just continue on with just the half double crochet, or as I added a little flare at the top using the Apache Tears Mosaic motif. And if you want to learn how to do this, I can do a little video. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to do a little demo video of how to do this motif at the top. If you also want to do a strap, or like a carrying strap over the top, you'll have to let at least one side or the other, you know, either these 2 sides or these 2 sides hang out over this lip, so that you can make the strap go up and over the top, And you can make that as long or short as you like, or as wide or narrow as you like. I recommend at least an inch so it has a little bit of stability, maybe wider if you want. So go ahead, pick out a pattern. I'll show you what I ended up with when I'm finished creating my center cover. And it's probably just going to be like a pot holder. Nothing too fancy, just changing some colors. See you back here when I'm finished. So here is the lid to the container. So I've got maybe 2 rows to go of half double crochet. That's a new kitty. That's my 2-year-old now. I think he's almost 2. I have 2 pandemic kitties. They keep each other company. So that's my stacked single crochet. And I'm going to just go ahead and go into both of the loops at the top, since I'm just going to do some half double crochets. I keep losing that loop. There we go. So I'm just going to do this. Oops. Kind of give it some continuity, the same stitch that's on the side of our container. The yarn is still splitting. And now I'm going to go back to half double crochets. I think that's going to work, a double crochet in the corner. I just don't like this hole. But it's unavoidable because it's from the Mosaic corner. So I'm going to go into that space and do a double crochet instead of doing 2 chains. And then going back into the second chain. So it's a half, a double, and a half. And when I say half, I mean half double crochet. So go ahead and complete that. Catch up to me. Just pause the video. I will see you when I get around to the other side. I'm back. Here we are. We've gone around one time with half double crochets with regular double crochets in the corners. I'm going to do stacked single crochets to get to the level of a half double crochet. I'm going to go do the same thing around again one more time. So I'm back. I'm going to show you at the corner now that we don't have that hole to work into, and it feels like I need to do more than just one double crochet here. So what I'm going to do, this is my last half double here, I'm going to do a regular double crochet in the top of that previous double crochet. Then I'm going to do a triple, wrap it twice in that same stitch, and then another double in the same stitch to make that corner nice and square. Okay, so that feels like a nice corner to me. And then continue with your half doubles till you get to the end of this side, and you do here in this part, not this one, but this one. I'll see you when you get to the end. So I'm just gonna cut this and weave in the ends, and then I'm going to use white glue. I might wet this, block it, and then glue it down. It's too short. I liked it a little bit longer tail for weaving in. Do a stacking single crochet up to the level of half doubles. Now what's nice about this project is you can use the simplest stitch you know, or you can practice using more complicated stitches. That's 4 stitches wide. I think that's plenty. And I'm going to just take it off right now and work on it with the outside of the bin. I think it'll be a lot easier that way. So finish the stacking single crochet, and then half double crochet. keep on doing this until I get the strap as tall as I want it to be. I'll meet you back. I'm going to pause the, you can pause the video until you're finished your strap. Okay, so I'm back at the end. I've made my strap as long as I want it to be, to make sure it'll like lay to the side and doesn't cover the top when it's not being used. Now what I want to do is, here's my full stitch. I'm going to go into the back loop here and pull that through just like that. I'm only going to go into the back loop of this one and the front loop of this one. And just do a quick slip stitch. All right. That is it. The basket is finished. I will put it all together and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done.